The title makes it sound like an attack from the right, but it's written by a lifelong liberal. Kirsten Powers' new book is called The Silencing: How the Left is Killing Free Speech. And I sat down with her here in Studio One. Kirsten Powers, welcome.
Great to be here.
Does it pain you, as somebody who spent a lot of time in Democratic politics, to be attacking the illiberal left? Are you resigning from the left?
No, because I do make a distinction between what I call the illiberal left and what I would consider just your average Democrat or another liberal who, while I may share the policy views of many of the illiberal left, I don't share the view that that you should silence people who disagree with you. That's where I make the distinction.
But some of your friends and allies cannot be happy that you've written a book on, quote, the attempt to silence dissent from the liberal worldview.
No, well, yes, there are people that are unhappy, but I have to say most of the people that are making criticisms have not read the book. It's quite clear by the accusations that they're making. They're saying, oh, this is a book about how conservatives are being silenced. It's actually not a book about how conservatives are being silenced. Conservatives are some of the people, evangelicals are some of them, but a lot of the people that I profile in the book that I interview are liberals who themselves have been experienced silence, are liberals who are very concerned about what they consider the silence that's going on. They're politically agnostic people. They're not even people who are trying to get into the political debate.
But is it hard for you? You're taking on your own tribe.
Yeah, yes, but as you know, Howie, I mean, I typically try to call it the way I see it, and look, did I think twice about writing this book? Absolutely, and I had to, but when I really looked at the overwhelming evidence, what I saw was a very serious cultural trend that I think is very damaging to the country, and I think it's illiberal, and I think somebody needs to say something about it.
Will some media outlets not have you on to talk about it?
I have not been invited on a variety of media outlets.
Now, liberals sometimes challenge you just for being a part of Fox News. You've mentioned in the book Gloria Steinem and others. What do they say?
Yeah. Well, I recall a conversation with Gloria Steinem where we were at an event, and she basically just leaned over and said, you know, why do you go on Fox News? You know, and I don't remember what my answer was, but she just said, it's just coming at such a great cost. And I said, you know, I disagree. I think you should go on. I think people should get the whole picture of you and not just the stereotype. And
you write about what you call the left's war on Fox News, and the media writing about Fox babes. A Huffington Post headline: Megyn Kelly, attractive-looking blonde anchor woman, leads the pack at Fox News. What do you make of that?
Well, what was interesting about that is they were linking to a New York Times profile about Megyn Kelly that did not in any way make that case about her. It was not.
It was very positive.
It was a very positive profile about her as a journalist, and so the fact that they took a quote out of the entire very positive profile showed that that's what they're reducing her to. And look, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying women are attractive, or you know, I have no problem with that. It's when people try to use it as a sort of dehumanizing tactic to just dismiss somebody, and that's what I talk about with the liberal left, that you see them doing with women that they disagree with or they don't like.
But now you say that years ago you kind of fell into this trap, that you originally saw conservatives and religious people as stereotypes, and you talk in the book about what happened when George W. Bush nominated his White House lawyer Harriet Miers to the Supreme Court, and you thought?
Well, I had this conversation, actually, it was with somebody at Fox News, and I said, you know, they said, oh, isn't it great that he chose a woman? And I said, well, you know, she doesn't really count as a woman choice because she's conservative and she's an evangelical.
Doesn't really count.
And yeah, I mean, and I'm very embarrassed to admit that now, but that's a very commonplace view, and I chronicle it among what I call the illiberal feminists, which is, you know, people who say they care about misogyny and dehumanizing and dismissing women, will at the same time say a conservative woman isn't actually a real woman.
Now, some might say that for a liberal to write about how the left is killing free speech, and you have a lot of examples in the book, does that mean that you've become more conservative a little bit while at Fox, or trying to fit in more at Fox?
No, because it's not about ideology or policy or, you know, whether you're a Democrat or not. It's about the fact that there are a group of people who, like I said, I may agree with on policies. I just don't agree with them on how they're stifling free speech. And so it is purely about trying to encourage a robust debate and calling out people who I just don't consider, you know, first of all, they're not the majority. This is a very minority kind of mob situation where they have a lot of influence.
Are either high profile or activists, in other words, they have outsized influence.
Yes.
So it sounds to me like you're trying to say, oh, it's just this group of people over there, but it also sounds like you make the case that this mindset, that not only do I disagree with what you say, but I don't want you coming to my campus to say it, has infected
Oh, it absolutely has. No, I'm not. Yeah,
faction.
No, it's absolutely very influential people. And what I'm saying is that I think if you talk to most Democrats, just find a Democrat on the street and tell them about this, or even find a liberal and tell them about the situations, the things I'm talking about in my book, they would say, I'm not okay with that. I don't think that that's okay. But on these campuses, you will see it will just be a handful of people who will get upset about something, and they will make so much noise, and then everybody sort of caves to this because they don't want to be seen as allowing somebody on campus who is, making it unsafe for other students, even though most students probably wanted to hear that person. And that's what you see in a lot of the interviews that I do, is that most people are saying we actually can handle this.
All right. Well, the book is already on the New York Times bestseller list, so obviously there's an audience for what you're saying, even though you're taking some heat. Kirsten Powers.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for sitting down with us.
Thanks, Howie.